My very special guest today on the Dr. Demento Show, one of the most talented men it's ever been my pleasure to know and talk to. He's been involved in many of the records that we've played on the show over the years, also involved in a couple of very interesting sounding new television shows, The New Jetsons and Yogi's Treasure Hunt. Welcome to the Land of Dementia, Mr. Daws Butler.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Daws,
Doctor, I have this little pain right here. Could you check that? Oh, you're not that kind of a doctor.
No,
that's
nope,
right.
I'm a doctor of dementia.
That's right.
We doctor sounds here.
Yeah.
And you've produced so many wonderful sounds. Daws is a specialist in voices. A specialist in the theater of the mind. He creates the voices through which many of our favorite characters have talked to us through the years and entertained us in so many ways. From many of Stan Freberg's hit records, such as St. George and the Dragonet, and another rarer collector's item of Stan and Daws that we'll hear in a little bit. But Daws, besides the New Jetsons, is also involved in another television show I'm sure many of you remember and know and love very, very well.
Yogi Bear is smarter than the average bear. Yogi Bear is always in the ranger's hair. At a picnic table you will find him there. Stuffing down more goodies than the average bear. He will sleep till noon, but before it's dark, he'll have every picnic basket that's in Jelly's park. Yogi has it better than a millionaire. That's because he's smarter than the average bear.
Kellogg's, your best choice in cereals. The best to you each morning brings you...
Who else?
Yogi Bear.
Yes, when Daws Butler is our guest on the Dr. Demento Show, that means we're also talking with and hearing the voice of Yogi Bear.
Yeah, hi, this is you-know-who. And on this song, I gotta call it to their attention. They said picnic basket, but it is picnic basket.
So much fun to have you on the radio, Yogi, even more fun than on television.
I love radio. Every day I say to myself, I wish I was on radio as well as TV. But you can't have everything.
Not indeed, but we almost do, because when we talk to Daws Butler, we're also talking with Huckleberry Hound.
Well, I think that radio is just a wonderful thing, because see how quick I changed? Now I'm a little old dog. I'm a little old blue dog now. I'm not Yogi Bear anymore. And all I had to do was just change my position of my mouth and my vocal cords.
And speaking of dogs, there's also Augie Doggy.
Oh, yes, and my dear old father of the year. I love him desperately, and he takes me on wonderful adventures all over.
Not to mention your pal and mine, Quick Draw McGraw.
Howdy, I am Quick Draw McGraw, the world's fastest gun. And don't you forget it.
I won't forget it, Quickstraw, because I am your buddy and your pal, Baba Louie.
And we've also got Hair Bear, Quisp, Funky Phantom, Captain Skyhook, Bumble and Lamsey, Chilly Willy, Captain Crunch, Loopy de Loop, Snagglepuss, and Fibber Fox. The list goes on and on and on. Great
Heavens to Murgatroyd, you mentioned my name. You dropped it even. You soiled it.
Woo-hoo, yes. Daws Butler, how long have you been doing these cartoon voices?
Well, these voices started about 1959-60 with Bill and Joe when they started their own company.
That's Bill and Joe, they're the people who run Hanna Barbera.
That's right.
Yes.
Bill, Hanna, Joe Barbera. I speak of them very familiarly.
Of course.
That's the way you say it. I had worked for them at MGM when they were doing theatrical cartoons. And then when they started their own company, why, Don Messick and I went with them, and we were the show for about 5 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say these particular characters date from about that time.
And from a little before that, you had a very fruitful partnership with Stan Freberg.
Oh, yeah, that was terrific. That was about 7 years there that Stan and I worked together pretty closely.
How did you meet up with Stan?
Well, there was a fellow named Bob Clampett who was working on a puppet show that he wanted to do on television, and he wanted a little boy character. And
I do, like Elroy and everything. There was a little kid called Beanie.
So anyway, he liked me, and we fooled around with the show for about a year, and finally some things got written and whatever. And then finally, when the show was ready to present to the networks and the independents and all, why, the script, like all scripts, seemed to have a hole in it, something that wasn't filled, which was a conflict. So they decided to have a storm and to have something that would be very menacing. So we thought of a sea serpent. And It grew like all names grow. First of all, it was just a sea serpent. Then I said, let's make it a seasick sea serpent, which is kind of a alliterative thing and kind of funny. And then one of the guys said, let's call it, I said Sam. And he said, no, I think Cecil is better. So that's the way Cecil was born. And Stan did it, and it was an overnight smash. It was just one of the funniest characters. And Beanie was like his little boy. Cecil was my dog, you know.
Beanie and Cecil.
Beanie and Cecil.
Oh, yeah. How wonderful that is.
Oh, I know.
And then you also got involved in making some phonograph records with Stan.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did St. George and the Dragonette and Little Blue Riding Hood. And Stan and I did about 5 or 6 different albums together. I mean, records together. We did one on the McCarthy period. And then we did a show in '56. It ran, I think it was 15 shows. It was like the final period of sketch comedy and radio.
Yeah, that was the last of the great
It really was, yeah.
shows on the traditional radio networks, the Stan Freberg Show.
And Stan, see, the terrific thing that only another actor can understand is that we had a sense of rapport, which is like any kind of a partnership, but it is so warm and so necessary, where we could look at each other and almost sense when somebody was coming up with an ad lib, or where we would have to field it, you know, and run with it. And it was very delightful. Stan was a great guy to work with.
Was that done live?
All live, yeah, that's right. And, of course, some of the biggest laughs were the ad-libs and the mistakes, you know, the same way with Beanie, you know.
Of course, there's a double album that's still available today that preserves so much of the best of the Stan Freberg shows.
That's right, they're classic.
And, of course, St. George and the Dragonette, Little Blue Riding Hood, that was a million seller, a comedy record that got to #1 on the charts.
The first one, yeah.
I've seen your gold record.
That's right, absolutely.
But you brought along another one that you did with Stan that's a little lesser known.
Yeah, well, it's always been one of my favorites because I love whimsy. One of my great gods of comedy was Fred Allen, and he had a way of turning phrases, which as a writer, I think I have helped myself inherit, because I love words, period. Just words. I love them and everything about them and how you can twist them and turn them and get juices out of them. So that we did one called Person to Pearson, which was an Edward R. Murrow takeoff.
Edward R. Murrow, the great newscaster.
The great newscaster, that's right, yeah. I think they're going to run some of his old kinescopes now. But anyway, Stan did that part, and I did the part of a little old man that he discovered and was going to interview.
And here 'tis, Person to Pearson on the Dr. Demento Show.
Good evening. I'm Edward Anonymous. The name of the record is Person to Pearson. And tonight we're going down to the Lower East Side where our live cameras are set up behind an A&P store. And there you'll meet Mr. J. Pierpont Pearson. Ah, there's our man now, sitting on that rutabaga crate. Hello there, Mr. Pearson.
Hello there, Ed.
Mr. Pearson, what...
Why don't you just pull up a rutabaga crate?
Thank you. What does a man like yourself call home, Mr. Pearson? Where do you sleep at night?
Right here. I sleep behind the A&P store.
Mind telling us why?
No, it was because of a great personal tragedy.
Mm-hmm. And what was that?
They kicked me out from behind the Piggly Wiggly.
Well, Mr. Pearson, I imagine then you have to be up and about your business before they open the store in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I gotta move quicker. The A&P man will catch me.
I take it you have an alarm clock?
No, I got me a clock rat. Bites me awake every morning at 6 o'clock.
A clock rat, did you say?
Yeah, his name's Brailsworth.
Brailsworth?
He's been my friend, my clock, and my companion for 12 glorious years.
A unique association indeed, Mr. Pearson. Do you get along well?
Well, the first 3 years were the hardest, Ed. You take a rat lives alone, he gets set in his ways.
But now he bites you awake every morning at 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Of course, his nip ain't what it used to be. Last few days, he's been gumming me awake. This morning, it was 8:15 before I felt them sweet little teeth.
I suppose you have thought of what you'll do when Brailsworth is too old to work.
Oh, yeah. I'll just put him out to pasture, down to the garbage dump.
Garbage dump?
I'll pick him up by the tail, swing him around my head 3 times, and let fly. He'll think he died and went to heaven.
And you, Mr. Pearson, what will you do when Brailsworth has shuffled off this mortal coil?
Well, I guess I'll just have to get me another rat.
A new clock rat, you mean?
That's right. I'll rub a little cheese on my leg, go down to the wharf, and hold auditions.
I suppose you might look the wide wharf over, though, and never find another Brailsworth.
Oh, never. Brailsworth has got the sweetest little blue eyes you ever see on a rat. He peers up at you with a kind of a wondrous look, and his beady little eyes seem to say, I'd like to kill you.
A man and his rat. True Americana. We're deeply in your debt, Mr. Pearson.
Went to Caltech, you know.
Oh, you did?
No, Brailsworth did. I skimped and saved, and I put him through.
Why Caltech?
Well, I showed him a bunch of circulars. That's the one he ate.
Good choice.
He learned to run through a maze of them little corridors, then through a door, up a ladder, jump across a 4-foot moat, and punch a little red button with his nose. That'd make the food come down. Took him 7 months to learn to do it. And what do you think come down that chute?
Rolled oats, possibly, a little cheese.
Chlorophyll gumballs. Oh, it was a cruel trick in Brailsworth's book. He got so blame mad, he gnawed his way through the wall and come straight on home. Said to himself, home is where the garbage is.
Words to live by, Mr. Pearson. Thank you.
Person to Pearson, Stan Freberg, and my very special guest, Daws Butler, on the Dr. Demento Show. Comedy to live by, indeed.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. Comedy is a way of life.
Yes, indeed.
I think.
Stan Freberg, of course, hasn't made any records for quite a while. He's involved in doing commercials now.
And very good ones, yeah.
Yes. You've done a few, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I there was a period there after we stopped doing the Time for Beanie thing, which ran for about 5 years, when everybody thought I was a puppeteer and they forgot I was an actor, you know. And I got into writing, which I had done, which Stan and I had done, and so forth. But for a couple of years, I wrote an awful lot of radio spots, animation spots, and I loved it. You know, to do something in 30 seconds is not much time. And if you can be funny or effective or whatever, so...
Well, we've got 30 seconds here. Let's listen to one of them.
Okay.
Tell us about this first one.
Well, the first one is called One Breath. It was for National Bohemian Beer back east. It was a very big beer back there, National Bohemian. And I wrote this spot, and it's a minute, and it's called One Breath. And it's an actor's secret how I did it, but it's kind of interesting.
Well, let's listen. Daws Butler.
How do you do? I'd like to say a few short words about National Bohemian Beer, which is wet, cold, and delicious. I don't want to be a beer bore, but I think you ought to know the facts. One of the National Bow Master Brewers is standing right here, and he's nodding his head. There's several things he wants me to say about Bow, and he wants me to get them all in before my time runs out. Can I breathe now, Bow Brewmaster? No? Okay, I'll keep going. In National Bohemian Beer, the finest ingredients are used to give you that wet, cold, and delicious taste for which NBB is justly famous. NBB, that means National Bohemian Beer. I used abbreviations to save time. Can I breathe now, Bow Brewmaster? No? Okay, I'll keep going. Oh, I suppose I could go into a long-winded speech using a lot of fancy adjectives from the dictionary, which Mr. Webster penned so painstakingly, but without discrediting Mr. Webster in any way, because I understand he was a grand person. I feel that one taste of National Bow is worth 1,000 words. Make a note of that, will you please? Just file it under wet, cold, and delicious beer. Can I breathe now, Bow Brewmaster? I can't. Just ask for National Bohemian Beer and tell them that he sent you.
That was great, Daws Butler. We got another commercial here, too.
Yeah, and there's another one here, too. This is where I did a thing which people don't usually connect me with, which is a musical thing where I'm a songwriter trying to sell a jingle. And I worked with a very good piano player, and the thing we tried to give radio-wise was the fact that I was actually playing and singing. So it's a little, you know, like a song plugger type thing.
Before I begin, it is Larry's Giant Jumbo Combo Sandwich?
Right.
It's kind of hard to keep... yeah, well... Larry's Giant Jumbo Combo, just the sandwich for the mambo, for the cha-cha or the rock.
Hold on. Just the sandwich for the mambo?
It rhymes with combo.
Now look, Larry's Jumbo Combo sandwiches are just the thing for lunches, picnics, parties, found in the frozen food section of your market,
Yeah.
each with 21 slices of bologna, salami, and cheese.
That I've got. Bologna, salami, sliced up cheese. Larry gives you plenty. How many slices do you get? 20. Count them, 20.
It's 21 slices.
I know. Look, let's just forget it. I mean, you got to take some liberties. Beethoven himself couldn't get what you want in this song.
Daws Butler with a Larry's Sandwiches commercial from the days when they all came on acetate discs.
That's right.
Disc jockeys needed 5 arms back then.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
We're talking to a man with many more than 5 talents, Daws Butler, on the Dr. Demento Show.
Why does Jewel's flavor last longer than other sugarless gums?
Smack dab in the middle, smack dab in the middle, smack dab in the middle of the gum is the secret to Jewel's long-lasting fun. A delicious sense of feeling where others have none. Smack dab in the middle of the gum. Smack dab in the middle.
Jewel's with a delicious scent of filling that has longer-lasting flavor. Flavor that's been missing in your sugarless gum.
Smack dab in the middle of the gum is the secret to Jewel's long-lasting fun.
My special guest, Daws Butler, on the Dr. Demento Show. We'll be right back on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Meet George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane, his wife.
Here on the Dr. Demento Show, our special guest is Daws Butler, who, through the magic of the theater of the mind, has just changed right before our eyes and ears into Elroy!
Gee, it tickles. He does it so funny. I mean, it tickles a little bit. You know, I'm still 9 years old. After not being on the air for 22 years, I'm still 9 years old. And, you know, other people up here in space, like Henry Arbutt's a good friend of mine. He's a janitor, you know. Henry, would you say something on the microphone?
Well, I was fixing George Jetson's car, but I can take a couple minutes. Is that Dr. Demento?
Yeah, that's him.
Wow, I always wanted to meet him. I heard a lot about him. He's history, you know, 'cause we're ahead in time. I wonder about Cogswell Coggs. Cogswell, come on over here.
I'm Cogswell Coggs. I'm also the competitor of Spacely Sprocket, you see. But he has a terrible thing which he fights me with in doing all my little shenanigans. He uses, what's the word, honesty. Dirty fool.
Well, it sure is great to have all you guys back on television in 1985.
Yeah, it's neat.
This is an all-new Jetson show, right, Daws Butler?
Yeah, it's brand new and 41 shows, and all the original cast, the same people in the original. I think the writing is up to the standard, or maybe a little bit beyond from a standpoint of sophistication than the originals. But hopefully it's going to be like a renaissance.
Is this Saturday morning this time?
This will be all across the board, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, I see.
It's in the morning here in Los Angeles. What it will be in the rest of the country, because it is syndicated, I don't know, but it'll be on 5 days a week. It's a family show. In other words, the family can sit down together and laugh and enjoy all the things, and the subtleties sometimes will escape maybe the littlest kids, but the other ones will get it.
Of course, many of the people who were children when the original Jetsons was on the air now have children of their own.
You bet your life.
So a family show in the best sense of the word.
That's right, absolutely.
This, I understand, is part of a larger project that Hanna Barbera is doing.
Yeah, we're doing another series called The Fantastic World of Hanna Barbera. Funtastic. And it's going to be 3 shows, 3 half hours. Yogi's Treasure Hunt, The Paw Paws, and Galtar, the Golden Lance.
Tell me about Yogi's Treasure Hunt.
Well, this is really fun because I do at least anywhere from 7 to 8 to 9 characters of my old days, you know. And bouncing back and forth is really a kick because they were never just voices to me. I mean, they were always characters. They have blood and flesh and bone and marrow, and they're real, you know, and I believe them. So that when I'm doing a thing like, Snagglepuss, what's going on? Don't pop the mic. What are you doing? And if I'm doing, howdy, I am Quick Draw McGraw. Or Hokey Wolf, who was a very smart alecky kind of a guy. But he gets in there and does all kinds of shenanigans. And they just go from a run the gamut, you know? And, of course, I did Huckleberry Hound earlier on, so no sense doing that. I don't want to be repetitive.
Never. What does one do in order to get into the sort of business that you're doing the cartoon voices?
Well, I take a great personal interest. I take as much interest in doing a new character as doing Hamlet. Put it that way. It sounds kind of smart-alecky. But you see what I mean? I believe there is a character like Huckleberry Hound. When I do him, my whole demeanor comes off different, you see?
Yes, it does. It really shows.
It really shows. It's in my eyes, everything I do.
It certainly does.
And the same way with Snagglepuss or whatever.
So it's like learning to do any other kind of acting than serious
It really is. I mean, and I act physically. When I'm in front of that mic, the people in the booth are always amused because my whole body's moving for Yogi Bear and so forth. And if I do a character like Super Snooper, I'm kind of laid back, you know what I mean? And I'm just talking kind of quiet, like a New Yorker, you see?
And you have a school, don't you, where you train younger people?
Yeah, I have I call it a sensitivity workshop, where I worked with stand-up comics. I work with people that are trying out for a TV, sitcom, people that are going to do stage work in Hollywood. I kind of feel what they want and what they need and try to arrow in and be their mentor and help them with what they have the talent for. Some people want to do voiceovers when they have a great face, or just to look at them and figure, my gosh, your face is so volatile, you should be on camera. And you try to push them that way. The saddest thing, I think, Doctor, is that people come in and they have a voice. They have a voice like that, you see, and they talk like this, and they say, everybody tells me down at the telephone company that I have a great voice, and I should do commercials and talk on the microphone. And then I say, and I break their hearts, the voice is the least of it. What happens up in your head, you know, the thoughts, the motivation, these are the important things. Then the voice follows that, you know.
Indeed. Daws Butler, my guest.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Doctor.
Well, it's been fantastic talking with you, Daws.
And it's great to talk to you.
Okay, Dementites and Dementoids, be sure and catch the new Jetsons, now appearing on your very own television, along with the fantastic world of Hanna Barbera and Yogi's Treasure Hunt, featuring the golden voice of Daws Butler, the myriad golden voices.
And your myriad audience.
It's been wonderful talking to you. We've
Great to
so
talk
much
to you.
enjoyed it. Have to do it again soon.
Okie doke.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, you!
Who, me?
Bubblicious wants you to win an appearance in a rock video with a top recording artist. It might be hard rock, or pop, or maybe hot dance.
Me in a rock video!
It's Bubblicious Ultimate Rock Fantasy Sweepstakes. Nothing to buy, details on package. Or send self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 10526, Long Island City, New York, 11101. Entries must be received by March 31. Void where prohibited.
The ultimate bubble, Bubblicious.
Gather round, Dementites and Dementoids. It's almost funny fun.